Hey everybody, welcome back to Conscientious Omnivore. My name is Pal. Very excited here to finally be able to show you a little project I've been working on. I mean off and on, but it's been a few weeks. I actually found this broken down chair. It was being thrown out many months ago, and it's been sitting in the garage for a while. But then finally, a couple weeks ago, I was finally getting around to actually start working on it. And yeah, I couldn't believe somebody was throwing this out in the garbage. It's a very nice solid wood chair. It had obviously been broken. You can see the original condition. I'm going to overlay the video here, but the sides were completely torn out. That would have supported whatever the original seat was, and so it was just thrown out like that. And I figured, hey, I can probably fix this at home. The rest of the chair seemed totally solid, like the sides and the legs, and the back was, in nice shape. So there was nothing wrong with these other parts. It was just the seat was missing, and the supports on the side were, all torn up, as you could see. Okay, so what I've done is I've used a chisel to kind of take out all the broken edges as good as I could. Then what I did was I used successively smoother sandpaper to basically work down the sides. Here there's a little indents from where the wood tore out, but that's completely fine because we're going to use some glue on that. But this side is completely smooth now, and same thing here with this third edge, completely smoothed it out. Now with this one, the front edge, it actually has this bottom lip, so basically picture like the bottom, of these three rungs stayed there. And what I'm gonna do is I've got a few small pieces of scrap wood that I've got ready, and we're gonna end up gluing this into place at the same height that the original support ended. So it's gonna be like that. I'm gonna basically countersink some screws into this. I'm gonna be careful so that they don't come out the front of the side of the wood here. And we're going to put glue on this side and here. That's why I wanted to get it really smooth, so that it'll be a nice, junction between the two pieces. And we're going to glue it in place and then screw it in place. So that will actually hold it. I won't need clamps or anything. Once the glue is dried, the idea is I'm going to drill through this from the bottom, coming up, and I'm going to go into the seat that I prepared. And the seat right now looks like this. So I just had a spare piece of pine wood left over, and you can see that I've cut out the edges so that they fit in nice. It's a little bit tight right now. I can squeeze it in there, but I can't really do it with one hand. It's obviously not good that it's a little bit too tight, so here and there I'm going to just sand the edges. Plus I want it to be nice and smooth. I haven't sanded this at all yet. So I'm going to just sand this down, get a little bit of the edge off. I don't have a router, so I'm just going to belt sand the side to give it a little bit of a, a rounded edge. And then, I'll cover it in oil and what have you, but it'll be basically screwed on from underneath through the edge pieces that I've made. So that's the idea. Got to do a little bit more work, but it's coming along. And actually, I just did want to show you what it would look like, so I just fit it in there kind of loosely right now. You can see it'll stick up a little bit here on the side, which is going to be, I think, perfect, and I'll get that rounded edge going all the way around. Do a nice, kind of finish sanding on it, and then I'm just going to use linseed oil, flaxseed oil, and it'll look really nice. I think it'll get it to be a lot darker and kind of match closer to this color, but I'm not even really worried about that. I think it looks quite nice with this lighter color. Obviously, it will get darker though. So that's what it will look like. I've got all the pieces kind of sanded the way I want. I've got them pre-drilled, and I've also pre-drilled the holes that are going to be going into the seat from the bottom as well. So now I'm going to just apply glue on this side, the side of this, screw it into place. That'll hold the glue until it sets, and then I'll come back and do a last you know, kind of check of the seat to make sure it sits in there. I'm pretty sure I still need to sand it down a little bit on a couple of the edges, but let's get this part done. Finished just in time before it started sprinkling. So you can see the little thin bead of glue there. I've just wiped off the excess. Same thing on the other ones. I'm gonna let this cure, and then we'll try the seat on there. So here we go. It's later the same afternoon, so the glue is probably not fully you know, cured yet, but I did manage to just kind of finish sanding this to the exact right size, not pressing on any of the sides at this point. Fits in there really nicely, easy to take in and out, and you can see fits really nicely. So basically I've finished sanding this, just need to dust it off a little bit. Then I'm going to start applying the linseed oil to that, and I'll probably do a couple coats, let it sit overnight. By then the glue should dry, and then we'll screw it in tomorrow. But it's looking good. I think it's really good. I like the look and the feel of it. Just wanted to show you guys the bottom of it fully assembled. So it's fully finished now. Added some screws here in the corners, and on both sides and on the front. So I think it looks really nice. I'm pretty sure it's pretty solid and shouldn't be going anywhere. I've got the 3 screws, you know, going into the side on all of the little supports I made, and then I've got, you know, 2 screws in the front, 1 on each side. I think it should be fine. I've just sat on it. Feels totally solid, so should be good. Let me flip it over and show you guys what it looks like. So that's what it looks like. I've got one really heavy coat of linseed oil that I rubbed in there, and then, you know, wiped it off, waited just for a little bit, put a second coat on there, but that was a lot lighter. And I'm probably going to stop here. I may add some more later if I see that it's you know, soaked it in and needs more, but it seems pretty good for now. Seems really smooth. I definitely have been watching a lot of woodworking things and guitar related videos lately, and I'm pretty sure I could have got a smoother sand if I had done a light raising of the grain with just some damp cloth before I did the oil application. So when I did that, there was a little bit of fuzz that came up, but it's still really pretty smooth, and I'm happy with it, and I didn't really feel like doing any more work with this. I think this came out great for what it is. Throwaway chair, and basically some scrap wood, and turned it into a usable, nice looking, in my estimation, chair. Seems pretty comfy. Time will tell, but seems no worse than any of the chairs that we've bought from, you know, IKEA or similar kind of places in the past. So I'm really happy with this. I'm gonna stop the video here, but I'm going to bring this upstairs and maybe do a proper video in the morning light when it's really nice. I think it's a little bit dark here, so it's harder to tell what it looks like, and probably do that in the next morning, and then I'll show it to you guys there. But I think it came out great. I'm really happy with it. It smells great. I love the linseed oil, and you know, you can throw a cushion on here if you want later. I don't know, we'll see. I usually just sit on these kind of wooden chairs as they are, but I know, like, the rest of the people in the family like the cushions, so maybe I'll add a cushion on this too. But if I'm the one using it, then maybe I'll just leave it as it is. We'll see. But yeah, let's stop here. Yeah, basically, you know, I think it came out great. Certainly better than it going into the landfill. I had this little scrap of wood left over. I think originally this probably would have been some kind of like countertop or something from the old house that we had, and it was just you know, being stored in the attic space. There was like some off-cut pieces from that, and you can probably remember I used some of that for the composting toilet project. If you haven't seen that video, you can go check it out. But I still have some left, and even beyond this, I still have some left. But I checked this size, it was pretty much perfect. I just had to cut off a little bit to fit it in here, and I think it looks great here. It did get you know, a little bit darker from the linseed oil, and I think this will, you know, obviously keep getting darker and mellowing in color over time. pine does keep getting kind of more yellow and amber color as the time keeps going. And you know, I can always apply a little bit more oil. It did absorb a little bit more of the oil, so I'll probably give it another, you know, another coat at some point. But for now, I'll probably just leave it the way it is because I think it looks really nice. And I actually like the light color of pine. I know a lot of people don't, and they'll stain it, but I actually prefer that nice light color, and just let it age naturally and get that kind of more yellow amber hue. And I like the contrast as well between the dark of the you know, the original wood and then this. I think it looks almost kind of intentional. So I think it looks really nice. I like the grains and everything. I sat in this last night, and it feels great. The height of the backrest is actually really nice. I think it's at a good height. It kind of prevents me from wanting to slouch because there's nothing lower down, and there's nothing higher up to try and kind of squeeze in between. I think it will actually help my my posture and comfort when I'm working at the computer. I don't like sitting in the typical computer desks. I find them to be too, I don't know, kind of difficult to get comfortable for working on the computer for a while. And sometimes I have trouble with chairs that are really high. It puts a lot of stress on my wrists. Anyway, whatever. So I kind of like working in simple chairs like this when I'm at the computer. So yeah, I think this came out great. I think it came out great. I'm really happy with it. Hope you guys enjoyed watching the process of kind of what I did to fix it. And maybe it will encourage people to try and repair stuff instead of throwing it out. You know, getting a piece of pine like this, it would have been a very inexpensive, you know, fix, considering, you know, the price of a nice all wooden chair like this. And really beyond that, it was just a few dabs of glue and a couple of screws that you know, that went into the project. So yeah, like it's awesome. I'm really happy with how it came out. If you guys enjoyed it, please do give it a big thumbs up, and see you in another video soon. Thanks again to everybody for subscribing. Really appreciate your support. So see you guys in another video soon. Bye.